And welcome back to Real Talk Sports with Rico. Today, we're talking about the top headlines and stories around the NBA. Obviously, it has been training camp that has been occurring around the NBA, but preseason basketball is back and it started Friday. And I want to go ahead and jump into the games that took place on Friday. You had the Timberwolves versus the Lakers, you had the Celtics versus the Nuggets. And let's start, I think, with one of the teams that I think has one of the biggest storylines this upcoming season, and that's the Los Angeles Lakers. And so, looking at this, I think that the first thing that we need to pull out of this is what they got from Dalton Connect. Dalton Connect had an absolute fabulous game. I think he was able to go out there and show that he could score at all three levels. And the interesting thing about it is when you looked at the highlights on most major media networks, they were talking about Bronny James, who I think is at some point going to be a pretty good player in the NBA, but not enough headlines and not enough has been put out there about Dalton Connect, who is a fabulous player who I've got a chance to look at some of his tapes, just kind of scouted him in the NBA draft. And I think that he is going to be a huge piece for the Lakers right now, especially for a team that is trying to maximize what LeBron James and Anthony Davis are doing. You need a player like Dalton Connect because Dalton Connect is able to come in, shoot the basketball at all three levels, like I talked about. 7 of 13 from the field, 2 of 7 from the 3 point line, and then also 3 rebounds. He also had a couple assists, steals. You also see a block in there as well. And so you get a chance to see that, he is a pretty good all around player. One of the things about him coming out of the draft was could he play defense? And I've looked at him in the summer league, now getting a chance to see him in the preseason. I think that the defense is going to be there for him because it's not like he's just a guy that is going to be a liability on the defensive end. I think he's only going to get better with that size and his length. And he actually moves a lot better on the defensive end than he's looked really on tape. And then some of his games that I got a chance to look at Tennessee. And so I just think that if the Lakers are going to make an impact this year, Dalton Connect is going to have to play. And I think it's going to have to be more about him than it is maybe about Bronny James, who I think is going to be, just like I said, he's going to take time to develop. And so you did get a chance to see some good things from Bronny James. I did love the fact that you do see him chase down and get a good block against Rob Dillingham, who we're going to talk about in a second. But that is what is going to make Bronny James pretty good in this first season. And that's probably how he should find some minutes on the floor. And that is being a defender. And so I think that he is going to be able to absolutely use that length and defend. And so to go up there, get a chase down block, to come back and get an assist like that, that is what you would like to see from Bronny. So that was terrific for him. And then also, too, Austin Reeves. I think that Austin Reeves, you see that he had the 16 points. More importantly, got to the free throw line. So really showing that, he can do a lot of other things, be that point forward for this team, 7 assists as well. And so I think Austin Reeves is going to have to get a lot more playing time this year as well as the Lakers try to go ahead and, again, elevate themselves out of the West and hopefully get back to where they were, where they go deep into the playoffs. And so, those are just a couple things that stood out for the Lakers in this preseason game. Shifting focus, looking over at the Timberwolves, clearly we didn't get a chance to see Julius Randle just yet coming over from the Knicks. I think it's going to be a situation where he's still probably recovering a little bit, from the shoulder surgery or whatever he had. But at some point, you're going to see him. You get a chance to see Devin Genzo. He looked pretty good out there. I think he's going to be a huge piece for this Timberwolves team. But more importantly, Rob Dillingham. I mean, Rob Dillingham looked really good. I think at some point that Rob Dillingham is going to be probably the starting guard for Mike Conley Jr. I think that he is going to be counted on, but 21 points plus 10 in the box score, 9 of 20. I think that him being able to assist the ball like he did, he's going to give them a bit more pop on the offensive end. And I think that the Timberwolves are looking to kind of open it up this year. And so I think you're going to see that with this team. And so that was really my major takeaway. And I think really the most important game out of Friday. Otherwise, the Celtics, I think the Celtics are who they are. Clearly, you're going to see some players start to play some more minutes in this one. Peyton Pritchard, you see exactly why the Celtics wanted to go ahead and hold on to him. I think he had made a trade request at some point, but he's going to be a huge piece to what they are going to do. Clearly, you're going to see a lot more from Tatum and Jaylen Brown and those guys, but they look like they are going to be top of the East again. And with the Denver Nuggets, clearly, I think the question for them is, can they stay healthy? And then also, are they going to get enough from the bench here? And that is going to be critical for them. That is why some people think that the Denver Nuggets maybe should have made a trade in the offseason to get some added bench production. And so we'll see what happens with Russell Westbrook coming off the bench. Looked pretty good in his debut with the 12 points in this one. Also had 8 assists. I think he's definitely going to be counted on, especially if Jamal Murray goes down. So you're going to have Russell Westbrook step in here. I think he can absolutely do that for this team, and that should absolutely help them out. And so as we move forward, now let's look at what took place here in Saturday's games or preseason games. And you had the Warriors and the Clippers. And look, the Warriors pulled it out, last second shot here to win it. But again, this goes into my concerns with the Clippers. You had no Kawhi Leonard in this one. Talked about how they have a lot of pressure going into this new arena. You have Kawhi Leonard with these knee injuries and things like that. And really nobody knows to the extent of what is going on with Kawhi Leonard. And I think that the Clippers at some point might get desperate. It definitely is concerning when you see the press conference, James Harden saying that the offense or the team is really going to really go through him a lot. I don't think that that is going to be, for the long-term success for this Clippers team. I don't think that that is going to necessarily get them out of the West. I think that they're going to need just a lot more than just James Harden just kind of going into the scoring mode like that, because they need some serious pieces on this team to step up. And so, I know that they just went ahead, re-signed Terrence Mann to the 3-year deal. That just kind of reiterates what Coach Lue was talking about, where he really believes in Terrence Mann. I think that they don't want to trade him as well, but there is just so much on this team that I don't think that you can really fix it. I mean, especially when you have Paul George leave for nothing. And I just don't know if these young pieces that they have on this team are going to step up. It's a good sign that you see Bones Highland playing some actual basketball. He didn't get a chance to play a lot with this team. But for a team that is going to be guard-oriented, you wonder, is he going to be a part of the long-term fit? There's a possibility that he could be traded. Kevin Porter Jr., a player that's coming back in the NBA, he's going to be depended on a lot. They're not probably going to use players like PJ Tucker, Batum, sure. But again, you see this Kawhi Leonard, DMP did not play, and I think that there's a chance that he could miss some season time. You have Norman Powell, who's now coming off the bench, is going to have to start for you. So I don't like where the Clippers are at this point in time. I know it's the preseason. A lot of things can happen, but I think that they are going to be a team that is probably going to be looking to make a trade sooner than later. But then because they're into this tax apron, they can only take in and kind of send out so much money with that whole tax apron in the NBA. So they're going to be challenged. And with the Golden State Warriors, the one thing out of camp for them that I get out of media day is patience. And Draymond Green talked about the fact that this franchise has not made any trades. they really didn't want to go out there and take a chance in getting players and ship off players like a Jonathan Kaminga or Trace Jackson Davis, like any of those young pieces. And so Draymond has reiterated that they did not want to make a move that was going to set this franchise back another 4 or 5 seasons. And so we'll see what happens. They want to maximize this window with Steph Curry. And I mean, they have won traditionally on strength and numbers. All right. They like to throw a lot of bodies out there. Let's see if they have enough with what they brought in with Cal Anderson out here. But anyway, let me know in the comments what you're thinking here about some of these top headlines and these NBA preseason games. This is Real Talk Sports with Rico. We'll be back. We will be reflecting on Sunday NFL games. Very excited, guys. So enjoy your Sunday and enjoy the football games. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.